Hey tubers, before I get started, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and let's make 2023 even better than 2022. Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. Over the summer, I picked up this Wilderness Trail 90, and you guys remember in the fall we worked on it. We swapped the engine out. We went from a single speed slip and slide to a 3-speed 90cc motor, which was an upgrade from what was in there. But unfortunately, even the 3-speed kind of had a slip and slide. I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, and this guy has had this 90cc Honda motor. It's from a TRX90. He pulled the motor when he did a bunch of upgrades to the four-wheeler. I think it was his kind of childhood four-wheeler. Anyway, if you're familiar with the TRX90, it actually has suspension, which is an upgrade over the TRX125. Anyway, and what he did was a TRX300EX suspension upgrade to it, which makes it a lot wider, right? He stretched everything out. He also went with the front hydraulic disc brakes, and I believe he put a hydraulic disc brake in the back also. So what you get with that is a short wheelbase, but a wide tracking machine. And if you're out racing your buddies, that could be a nice machine to have, right? Very, very nimble, very maneuverable for a high technical. The guy who did this was about my height. So, you know, 5'7", 5'8". And once again, for him, he wasn't too tall for the machine. So with the extra width, the extra suspension and all that, it'd be a really nice machine for the woods. About the engine, he said he put a Yamaha 150cc engine. And the way he spoke, I got the idea this was kind of a kit type project. So let's take a look at the TRX90 motor that he pulled. So here it is. Just quickly, intake looks good, not torn up, right? Exhaust looks good. The studs aren't broken, no mechanical damage there. The motor itself does not look like it was taken apart. Typically you could see it here, right? I mean, it doesn't look battered in any way, manner, or form, right? I believe that's still the OEM version. Shifter is not welded, no damage to the bottom of the engine. It's a little loose, which makes it a little hard to pull over. One thing that kind of slowed me down a little bit, I was looking at this. I mean, not quite sure what that is, right? The engine vent is over here, so I don't know. It's supposedly a newer motor. 2002 is what he said. So just to give you an idea, it does have, if you take a quick look at the wires, right, let me get the right light on it, you can see that blue and yellow. The red's for power. I assume these others here are for like the neutral type thing. So I could figure that out. We could just put a meter to them and shift it in and out of gear and see what's going on. Once again, engine vent. Here's what the oil looks like. Right, you guys could see there's still oil in it. Actually looks pretty decent. all, all really, I mean, it just really looks like a nice motor. This motor set me back $200. I would have liked to dance with him and bring the price down a little bit, but he wasn't dancing. It had been on Facebook for a while, and I got the idea that he was kind of getting disgusted with people calling him up and offering him 50 or 100 for it. I really danced with him at 150, and he wasn't dancing, so it doesn't look like the clutch has been messed with. Once again, there's no indication to indicate that it was taken apart. So the way he put the bike together with the new motor and so forth, I got the idea that it was well liked and loved. If he had a picture of it, the plastics looked really nice. He drove up, his car was neat, orderly. I just got the idea he was one of those guys who took kind of took care of his stuff. So I went out on the limb and gave him his $200 for it. He held it down, and I kind of gave the string, I held it on and gave the string a pull. It does have compression. There's no issue with that. I don't get reverse out of this, but the upgrade I get over the China engine is I do have a fourth gear. Though it might not necessarily be all that much faster, right? 90 cc's hauling around my carcass is no make-believe, but I think it might be a little better on the bottom end and perhaps on the top end if I give it a long enough runway and it's straight blacktop. Maybe I could probably get it going faster than I want to drive it, because these things up over 25, they get a little squirrely, so especially when you're top heavy on them. It came with a bunch of, I call them accessories. You got your intake manifold here. By the way, if you're doing the engine swap that I'm attempting to do, it doesn't appear as if there's much space. This is a nice intake manifold because it leaves me a lot of room, right? I could put a PZ27 on there, no problem. But from a height point of view, I think there was something going on up here, some bracket or frame or something on the Wilderness Trail 90 that might cause me some trouble, so I might have to swap the other intake manifold. Anyway, so it came with the intake, and whenever I'm buying this stuff, follow my advice and get all the parts you can. It came with the back brake cable, and it came with this. I don't know if you guys recognize this. When you have cable brakes, right, for the front wheels, obviously each wheel has its own cable. So what you do is you put the main cable in here, then you have a bar, and it pulls on the two separate cables for the right and left front wheel. So that's what that bracket does for a living. He gave me the air box with the air filter and the little spring thing that pushes it in, right. He also gave me, this is a cover that kind of goes over the intake. Give me the carburetor and the spring that goes in the center of the carburetor, but he didn't give me the slide, which to me, unless I have another one of these exact carburetors, makes this carburetor more or less useless, right? I have swapped the slide and needle around, and the one from the from a China carburetor might fit, might even, the threads might be the same, so it might, the cap might bolt right on. But the a lot of times the problem is with the way the needle is, the contours on the needle, the angle of the needle taper isn't the same, so they don't work right. They just don't behave themselves. So what's good about this particular carburetor, though, the bottom of it, right, this distance, is kind of a little bit of a low profile from a space point of view. You do save a little bit of the space to bring the engine, to bring this down closer to the engine. And I'm back to talking about the intake manifold. So today is Christmas. It's frigid outside, sunny, beautiful to look at, but cold to be standing around in. So hopefully it warms up enough this week where we could get this motor smashed onto the Wilderness 90 and romp it around a little bit with the 4-speed and all. I just think that it'll be so much of a better ride. Hopefully also the way the foot peg area is set up, I don't have trouble with the shifter interfering. We'll discover all this stuff. We're going to take a China frame and turn it into a Honda machine. There you go. In the meantime, Merry Christmas once again to all. Thanks to the folks, all the folks who supported my channel this year, especially Steve. Got me a lot of deals, a lot of input to the channel, and I really, really appreciate that. Thanks to everybody for their support, my longtime viewers, my new folks, everyone out there. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Happy holidays. Bye now.